Smooth operator. Or Ferrari making a mistake replacing Carlos Sainz with Lewis Hamilton for 2025. We have a 3 week break, so let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. 13 votes. Unlucky for some, depressing for others.
I tell you what, there might be a 3 week break, but it won't take us 3 weeks to get to the answer to this. It was a close poll, but I'll tell you the answer. The answer to that is yes, they are making a mistake. Fog Racing here. We're going to put over Carlos Sainz, the smooth operator. Because, I mean, let's be honest, maybe it doesn't look so good making this video now, considering that Carlos Sainz admittedly did have a bit of a stinker in Brazil. But you know who else had a stinker in Brazil? Lewis Hamilton. You know who had a stinker before that? Lewis Hamilton. You know who's had a stinker now for multiple seasons? Lewis Hamilton. For me, one of these guys is still in his prime and still a very, very top driver. And the other one has been getting worse now for multiple seasons. And that is the guy that is going to Ferrari.
Yeah, I think Lewis. I'm not saying he's done, right, but I think his great performances are few and far between. He still produces them. Don't get me wrong. He's won a few races this season, some strong performances overall, but he's going out in Q1.
Hamilton versus Leclerc will not be competitive.
So the last 3 races, he's went out in Q1 twice. Like, that is unheard of.
He's the new Sergio Perez.
Well, I mean, the old Sergio Perez is still very alive, but I look at Hamilton, you know, he's near 40. It's like, yeah, I think you look at Schumacher, and he got to this age, he was done. Alonso's not the driver he used to be. You look at the recent history with Ferrari.
Like, I'm not saying they're done, but like, I just don't think Hamilton isn't going to beat the top drivers in their prime. Just like Schumacher was getting beat by Rosberg. Schumacher in his prime probably beats Rosberg. But at the end of the day, when you're in your fort, it's like Alonso, right? Look how impressive Alonso's looked in an Aston Martin. But the fact is, he's looked impressive against Lance Stroll. As much as I would love Alonso to have a race-winning car next year before he retires, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that if Alonso was teammates with Max, he wouldn't be getting shown up every week.
Yeah,
I think that, or if Alonso was the one going to Leclerc, going to Ferrari, I reckon Leclerc would be showing him up.
I just don't think Hamilton has got one thing over Leclerc now in 2024. It'll be 25. Leclerc's got better quality pace. I mean, I think that's I'd say Leclerc's probably got the best quality pace of anyone when he's on it. I mean, maybe Hamilton's better on the tyres. Maybe, I mean, racecraft, I'd give it to Leclerc. I think Hamilton's racecraft actually got worse with the more world titles that he won.
For me, his racecraft got worse during Mercedes because he didn't really have to use it.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I think back in the earlier days when he was at McLaren, and I mean, he was battling more on track, having to attack more, and we could always question it. See, for me, I think Hamilton, when it came to defending, I think he was always a dirty driver, but he never got called out in it because he was British.
Yep.
But to me, Hamilton was just as dirty as a Schumacher or Verstappen.
No, he was. But let's look at Sainz. Right, we've looked at Leclerc, Verstappen, Alonso, Schumacher, whoever, right? Carlos Sainz, for me, doesn't deserve to get replaced. Also had a stinker in Brazil. It seemed to be all the second drivers just had absolute shite. Well, I mean, I know Hamilton's not necessarily. Well, I guess he is second driver to Russell. They don't care about Hamilton anymore. People saying it's a disgrace. He's leaving the team. What do they want him to do?
Well, he's second driver in terms of performances and championship standing, isn't he? So
yeah, but Sainz is 30. Best years are ahead of him. I mean, people, it's a tough one, honestly, but I would keep Sainz, but I don't blame Ferrari for getting rid of Sainz. I think Hamilton, it's the dream move. It's the 7-time world champion. It's written in the stars, but the reality is, I don't think if Ferrari are going to bring a world title home next season, it's going to be with Hamilton.
Let's put it this way. I think that if they never agreed to this move at the start of the season, it wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be happening based on what we've seen for Hamilton this year.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, I think I don't know. Is Hamilton will Hamilton win another title? For me, no.
Absolutely not.
the problem with it is like
I just don't see how he wins a title now.
if
Going
he
to
was at
Ferrari.
Red Bull going up against Perez, yes, but I think he's going to see his career out at Ferrari, and I just don't see Leclerc leaving. So therefore, he's always going to have a teammate that's better than him then till the end of his career.
Yeah, it's just, like, a bit like how Bottas could have stayed at Mercedes for as long as he wanted, but he was never going to win a world
He's
championship.
now out of a drive, by the way.
I've seen that. Seen a lot of people, paying homage to Bottas today and going such an underrated driver. Should have been a world champion.
No.
The stint at Mercedes ruined him. Look, man, was there a couple of races where maybe, Bottas wasn't given preferred treatment? Did Mercedes maybe favour Hamilton at times? Absolutely, but I mean, let's not pretend here that Bottas ever really looked like he was a real threat.
Lacked the cutting edge. I mean, if you want to say Bottas over one lap maybe had more speed than a Rosberg, I mean, I'm not going to entirely disagree with it, right? But in terms of an overall package, he's nowhere near Rosberg.
No, you felt like... See, when Rosberg was at Mercedes, you felt like that was Hamilton's threat. That was his title rival. That was a genuine challenge. You never felt like Never did I feel like Bottas was ever challenging for the title.
Yeah, there's a reason why Hamilton thinks Bottas is his best teammate ever. Because he fucking laid into him.
Yeah, and not Rosberg and Alonso, guys that actually... or Button, guys...
Or even Russell,
Or Russell, guys that were actually fucking competitive and beat him.
Yeah, but we've got a comment. So we're going to go both with Sainz. But, I mean, I don't blame Ferrari for doing it.
No, financially and marketability-wise, it's a very good move, but... Sean says... Very tricky decision. On one hand, you've got one of the best drivers the world has ever seen, and the other, you've got someone who has a shitload of potential and talent. Not that I disagree, because I see where he's coming from, but for me, I don't know if I'd put Sainz in the potential category. For me, I think Sainz is a very good driver, but I think we already know how good Sainz can be.
I agree. I mean...
He's not someone I'm thinking, in a few years, this could be a world champ. I think if he's going to be a world champion, we've seen enough.
See, I think F1's weird, right? I don't think it's an age thing, really. I think it's more like, right, how much exposure have you had to a top team? You know what I mean?
Well, Sainz had quite a lot now.
Yeah, and that's what, yeah. Like, see, for me, is Sainz going to get much better than what he's at right now? No. He could get a car that suits him more. You know, he could get that, but in reality, I just don't see how the guy gets massively better.
I could see Sainz beating Leclerc over a championship season. I can't see Hamilton doing that.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, I mean, you look at the top 8 teams right now. I mean...
If I'm Ferrari and I'm going for the Constructors' title next year, I think I've got a much better chip. And
I would say that Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris are the only two that can improve. And it's because of his age. I think the rest of them you've probably seen the best.
But look, the reason Ferrari are in the Constructors' Championship battle this season is because they've got two drivers that are competitive and are consistent.
Absolutely.
And Red Bull are pretty much leading the drivers, but have no chance now the Constructors because they're second driver. And I'm not saying that Lewis Hamilton's going to drop the ball like Perez.
No.
But, I mean, I genuinely do think that Ferrari are hurting their Constructors' Championship chances by replacing Carlos Sainz with Lewis Hamilton. But anyway, guys, that's where we're going to end it here. I think this is the wrong move. Marketability-wise, yeah, they're getting a 7-time world champion. They're getting arguably, one of the best guys to ever race in F1. That makes sense, but when you factor in, you're probably paying Lewis Hamilton a lot more money than you're paying Carlos Sainz, and you're long terms, Hamilton's not as an appealing option as Carlos Sainz. You could sign Sainz to a 6-7 year deal at Ferrari, and you're still getting a guy in top form by the end of that. I mean, we're already seeing right now that with every week that passes, with every month that passes, Hamilton is probably on the decline. I mean, like, you could sign Sainz to a 5-year contract and you're getting 5 of the best Carlos Sainz years. Lewis looks like he's getting worse every single season. So, I mean, whatever Lewis does next year at Ferrari, that's probably going to be his best year. Then after that, I imagine it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So, I mean, yeah, marketability-wise, I think it makes sense, but for me, you're now overpaying for a driver that you're not getting as much out of longevity-wise, and you're probably not going to get as much out of results and pace-wise.
Yeah, I think Hamilton will retire in 2026.
Plus, I think he's less of a team player.
Yep.
And to me, there's more likely to be friction between I think that Leclerc and Sainz have shown that they're willing to work together
He
as
does
a
a lot
team.
of greeting, and I just don't think that flies at Ferrari.
No, 100%. I mean, you look at Sainz in the last race saying that they don't think they should be pushing, and in the end, they kind of settled for what they were getting. Whereas I just think there'll be more potential for falling outs between Leclerc and Lewis, but we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see, guys. Anyway, that's us wrapping this up. Check out the manager parts. Till then, peace.